Okay, hey, so I'm going to do a little video on some backup ideas if you're at the stage where you're learning to vamp. Basic vamping like that. Now we can move to the next stage and spice it up a little bit with stuff like you might hear that and some of the more common things you'll hear. So the first thing is on the one chord and in the key of G, which we'll be talking about here. That's this G here we use a lot, this F-shaped chord. So one of the things that I do is particularly when I'm playing with like one other person or another banjo player or no bassist basically, is I'll play this alternating bass, that bass line, that 1/5 or root 5 bass that you hear in bluegrass all the time that the bass player usually plays, but bass players are rare, so you usually are you don't have that anchoring it down. And what I'll do is this on banjo, and that's just doing it what the bass player would do on this G. I'm playing the 4th string G, that would be the root, and then vamping, pinching there, and then hitting the open 4th string and pinching. So it's and just going back and forth. So that's something right away you can do easy on one to spice it up a little bit. Like I said, it works well when you're playing with one other person. If there's a bass player there, a guitar player that's really covering that, dun dun dun, you don't have to worry about it so much. But I find it comes in handy because I often get into jams with one other person or another banjo player, and it really only works on the G because you have that the 4th string happens to be D, which is the 5th of G. So if you try to do it on C, it doesn't sound right, and you could do that on C, but you'd have to play different notes. So for now, just on G, it's something you can do. And the next thing is doing this, and this is taking this F shape, one chord, and its inversion, still the same chord, a G, but it's the D shaped G chord up here on the 9th fret area. So just to get started with that, what I would get comfortable doing is being able to switch here, easy, smoothly. And a little thing to remember is these two fingers, your little finger and your ring finger, don't move when you change that, and the other two fingers just swap. They just swap places. So if you do it a lot, you'll start to pay attention to what your fingers are doing, and you'll see that the chords are very similar. And don't do try to make it all up again, because you only have to move two fingers and only move them slightly. So and once you can do that comfortably, you can just do something a little bit that by picking it rather than just vamping it to get a different effect like this. And all I'm doing there is, instead of vamping this inversion, I'm picking the strings 4, 2, and then I'm pinching strings 3 and 1. So I get. And that is, so this is one measure right here. That's one measure. So if you do this, that's one measure as well. So you want to make sure that you're not doing this in the beginning, because you're gonna mess up the timing. So you want to do one vamp and then do that like that. You don't want to start a measure with this, because you'll get a little the rhythm of it will get a little messed up. So we have another lick that you can do, kind of in the same idea of that, is this one, which is common in backup playing. And that lick is it sounds like it's all up here, but really it starts down here. It's important to practice it and start it down here, coming out of this G shape, and you're gonna on the downbeat hit the fourth string, so, and then on the upbeat you're gonna slide up to the eighth fret of the second string, that G note, and basically now we're in the G inversion up here again. But this part is the tricky part. So on the downbeat, and on the upbeat is when you slide. And so you slide up and then hit it again. So, and then we're gonna go 9, 7 on the third string, and then 9 on the fourth string. So it's and that's a one measure lick. So you can start that at the beginning of any measure. So here's one measure of just vamping, and one measure of that lick. Or so it's important to not just play when you practice it, because you're always going to be coming from here. And really, this note is the first note in the lick. So if you practice it just like this, you might have a tendency to start the lick to play this on the downbeat, and it won't work right. So it's, again, I'll play it slow a couple times. I'll play a measure of just vamping and then that. So right there's two ideas with just that one chord that you can do, or three ideas that you can do just to spice up your playing. And you don't want to just do this so much. Use it sparingly. Like, this sounds fine a lot of the times, just keeping that back up. But you can spice it up with these sprinkled in, and they work particularly well, this going up to this inversion, when you're changing to the 4 chord, or in G, that would be a C. So here, this F-shaped C. It leads in nicely. And another lick you can do on the C chord, and this is another popular lick, is the In the Mood lick, or the In the Mood roll, and it comes from that old tune, In the Mood. It goes doom da da doo da doo da doo da 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 doo da doo da doo da, and what you're taking from that is just that rhythm of it. Doom da doo da doo da 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 doo. So the roll itself is easily, you're just doing backwards rolls, but it's that getting the timing right to with the long notes and kind of the syncopation, and it goes. So if we play out of a C chord, I'm just going to play the top 3 strings. So I'm going to start with a long note, the third string, and then I'm going to do backwards rolls. So backwards rolls, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. So another long note. So there's 2 long notes there, one here and here. You can also start it from the 4th string and do the same thing. And you'll hear it get the first note getting slid into a lot. I just went up to a D there doing the same thing, but so here's how it sounds coming out of a G, using that G inversion to get to it. So that and it works on any F shape, any chord really, but it gets done a lot on the F shaped chord. So here's a C, D, and then this G up here, which is an octave above this one. you can use different. I was just fretting the fifth string, but the basic thing you want to get is that timing of it. And then you can work on changing it up a little bit. So there, that covers your G and C, or your 1 and 4, and then you always get this, or G to D back to G, or 1 2 5 2 1. And something I like to do there is stop just the vamping and do single note stuff. And whenever I play this D in backup, especially when it's one of those quick Ds, I like to play the open 4th string a lot. And then that allows you to walk up. So you go. So here's a D with an open 4th string, then with a 4th fret, completing that 4-finger chord, and then back to the 1 G. And you can do that to get to the D too. And when you think about this D, it's really, I mean, these are the same chord shapes. So any licks you can come up, work on that D too. So that lick, even if you took what we were doing, you can take pieces of that and go and use that on the D to get back to the G. But so the point of that one, I guess, is to use these single notes. This, when you're walking down, when you're going to the D, 4. Now I'm at the D, back to G. And that's that. And we have the same thing with that. We don't have as much room to slide, but it's, we'll make that first note open 4th string. So I'm going from D, lick, to G. So that kind of breaks up that just vamp, 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 vamp. Add some picking in there to spice it up a little bit. So that's it. I hope that there were some ideas in there that you can use if you're an advanced player, or you might already know this stuff, but if you're stuck and just learning backup, these things can be, and a lot of the other backup ideas you can find are based off of these ideas. So there's tons of licks you can do out of this position, but once you get comfortable doing stuff like this, you can start to do other stuff. It's easier to do other stuff. So I hope that's clear. I know I have a habit of just talking, not because without a person to interact with, I don't have anyone to be like, stop, can you clarify that? So if I'm not clear on anything, you can send me an email or write a comment, and I'll clarify it. And that helps too, because I like to teach and make videos and stuff. But the more feedback I get, the more I can make myself more clear for future ones. So I hope that helped, and I will see you next time.